Hello everyone, today we are featuring a team sent to me by a subscriber with the very underexplored Lugia. Now, Pokemon is a game that can be characterized by dogma and groupthink. People stick with what works because of the opportunity cost of sacrificing something more consistent, because of the time investment it takes to experiment, and quite frankly, people have busy lives, it's difficult to engineer imagination. However, I do think Lugia could have a niche in this format because it actually does quite well into the dominant weather archetypes right now. Has the bulk to comfortably take attacks from Kyogre, Charizard, it's immune to ground type attacks from Groudon, and with the recover reactivating multiscale, calm mind, self-proc weakness policy, it's the type of Pokemon that your opponent can ignore for too long, and before they know it, it's set up and sweeping. So today, my rank's taken a bit of a hit, but we're going to see if we can make this team work. Playing with Lugia, you have to kind of accept you're not going to get the knockouts that you want every turn, and you have to just play intelligently, and often opponents will just ignore Lugia and just use that to your advantage in terms of how you decide to go for calm mind boost, etc. So we have a rain team, and I think Lugia is an exceptional leader because it does take attacks from everything reasonably well. We also have a Gastrodon, which can obviously frustrate the water core here. Raichu is interesting just to help us get a policy boost and offer fake out pressure. So yeah, I'm kind of torn here between Gastrodon and Raichu. I think we are bringing Raichu, Gastrodon, Zacian. Zacian for damage pressure, obviously. Gastrodon gives us Water Absorb to nullify the Rain Core, and Raichu gives us fake out pressure, decent typing. It's really just a case of lead. I think leveraging Gastrodon as a switch always feels a bit more intelligent. And the cool thing about Raichu is it does have Eerie Impulse, which can potentially just incinerate Zapdos. So I think I'm going to go with Raichu. Also gives us the weakness policy pressure on turn 1. And I mean, we could lead with Zacian, but then Zacian's very vulnerable to Kingdra Max guys at turn 1. So let's see, can we be a top 1000 player using a more meta standard team with these very, very niche, underexplored, perhaps underrated Lugia, or perhaps it's not used for a reason? Let's find out. Leading Zacian, Kyogre. And I think this is actually quite good for us because Zacian, there's nothing Zacian can do about fake out. And Lugia, if it's not Scarf, should outspeed Kyogre, so we have a free opportunity here to potentially go for a Calm Mind. Or we could Dynamax into Max Airstream to win the Weather War. Sorry, to potentially nullify the damage of Water Spout. The cool thing about giving Raichu a speed boost here is it would allow me to Nuzzle and Eerie Impulse the following turn. Yeah, I quite like that. I could hard read into a Protect here and not fake out the Zacian. But then I think if they just go for Behemoth Blade into Water Spout, it's a bit of a disaster. So I'm happy to go for this play. I think my ambition is, the following turn we can potentially Nuzzle, potentially Eerie Impulse. The key thing is that the Raichu will survive thanks to Focus Sash and be faster than the Zacian. So I think this is the kind of middle ground play. The kind of main issue is that committing your Dynamax to Lugia, you're generally not going to pick up knockouts. This probably won't even do 30 to 40% to Kyogre, and maybe 10% if it Dynamaxes. Okay, they don't protect, so we get that read correct. That's very good so far. They get Water Spout off, which as you can see does not do much damage to Lugia. Is that a crit? Despite a critical hit, Water Spout critical hit only does 20%. That is the incredible power of multi-scale, and I think we're actually in a phenomenal position now because we can get the weakness policy boost and potentially just KO Zacian, or we could Nuzzle an Eerie Impulse. We don't really need to Nuzzle since we already outspeed the Zacian. And I think Max Quake is better here just because it will give us the special defense boost anyway, and that probably gives us better utility than Eerie Impulse. If they don't switch here, okay, they switch Kyogre. Okay, if they don't switch Zacian, this is a potentially game-winning play. Question is, does +2 Lugia even KO Zacian? I have no idea. I assume we outspeed at +1. I'm actually not familiar with the exact EV spreads and calcs, so if we don't have speed at +1, we could just lose the game from there, which would be kind of embarrassing. Let's go into our own Zacian since they have Ferrothorn out. If we outspeed and get the knockout here, we are in a phenomenal position. Okay, that's good. Amazing. See, Lugia can work. Right there. All the evidence you need. Top 1000 player using Zacian Ogre, the most meta-dominant core, or has been for months and months now. And as you can see, weakness policy, we tank Kyogre thanks to multi-scale, we knock out Zacian thanks to weakness policy boost, and okay, the game's not over, to be fair. I still think we could absolutely win here. But it does put us in a pretty good position, right? So Ferrothorn doesn't output much damage pressure here, so I'm going to go for max airstream just to cover it for it being Scarf. I guess the question is, are they going to Dynamax here? I would imagine they've got like Kingdra in the back. I think there's a case that switching into Gastrodon is a bit more consistent here. Yeah, they don't Dynamax. Okay, so we should have just gone for Sacred Sword then. I actually didn't expect that to KO. That's one issue with using this team, is I'm not 100% sure on all the damage calcs, so the fact that we give their Ferrothorn a free attack here is kind of annoying, to say the least. Yeah, I think if we Sacred Sword there, we just win. I think the likelihood of them Dynamaxing Kyogre was always mitigated by the fact that I clearly have Gastrodon in the back. Though they haven't actually seen I have Gastrodon. Yeah, I thought they might have just gone for a hyper-aggressive read there and Dynamax, so I wanted to cover for that. And I don't think Sacred Sword into max airstream would KO. I think it might KO Dynamax Kyogre depending on the bulk, I'm not sure. Okay, so Zapdos is their last Pokemon. So obviously Dynamax Zapdos is quite good for them here. I kind of want to... I have a lot of options here. I'd really like to get an Eerie Impulse into this thing, but probably going to get a speed boost. We could recover to reactivate Multiscale, but since the Leech Seed is going up, I think I will just go for Aeroblast. I don't want to throw this game. The thing is, they can only pick up one knockout here. That's the key. And I think as long as they can only pick up one knockout, I think we're okay. In fact, I'm not even sure Max Lightning KOs Zacian, so... I think Gastrodon as well could probably beat Kyogre thanks to Yawn, so maybe there's an argument to double up into the Ferrothorn, but Ferrothorn could protect. I'm not sure this KOs at +2. I mean, Ferrothorn, yeah, is very bulky. Zapdos takes the Behemoth Blade quite well, so this game is not over by any means. If they're going for max airstream, they're not going to KO Lugia. I mean, perhaps after the... I think there's a really good argument for Recover there, because I think with Recover and the special defense boost, they're never knocking us out. And we could potentially just stall out the game from there. And they just go for Leech Seed. So the fact that they don't pick up a knockout onto either slot here essentially just guarantees us the game, because we can just get a double knockout now. I think they needed to double into one slot, pick up a knockout, hope I misplay in the adjacent slot. And adjacent parallel, I have no idea. But Leech Seed doesn't even KO Lugia, so I guess their Ferrothorn's a little bit scary at this point. I think what we do now is we recover on Lugia, since I do anticipate the protect, and Behemoth Blade always KOs Zapdos from this range. Yeah, Ferrothorn protects, but it's not winning a 4v1 after this. Yep, and that should be game because we're 4v1 now, so there you go. 4v1ing a meta standard team with Lugia, and not only with Lugia, but Lugia really carried the game with the knockout onto Zacian, the knockout onto... Did he get the knockout onto Kyogre? Yeah, actually did get the knockout onto Kyogre against my expectations, so... Yeah, this is just one game, but we're going to keep going at it and seeing if we can make Lugia a meta standard Pokemon, or at the very least a underrated niche. I think because we have recover on Lugia, even if they just get infinite protects and paralysis, it's I mean, I hope they just forfeit it to save our time, but they could stall this game out a little bit if they really wanted to. And they cancel. So yeah, there we go, guys. Thank you so much to, I believe his name is Scott, for giving me this Lugia team, and hopefully we can continue to improve it and continue to try and innovate in this format. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.